Welcome to Recharge with Sean Stevenson. This is the place to be if you want to refill your spirit and rev up your energy. Today is Monday, June 16th, 2014. I have some confessions to make, and I have some advice to share. And the advice that I have to share with you is as much for myself as it is for you. And what's great about my career is that I get paid to tell myself what I need to hear most. And anytime you come across a personal growth guru, I don't want you to ever believe that they have it all together, that they have it all figured out, and that they're able to easily practice everything that they're teaching. If a guru ever tells you that, if a teacher, an expert, a therapist ever says that they live out their message every single day of the week, every month of the year, they're flat out lying. And, well, maybe there's an exception out there, but to be real, I must say that my material is hard to live every day. One of the things that I've been struggling with recently, maybe you can relate, is balancing my life. And I've had mentors say that balance is bogus, that you need to harmonize. And, that's great because, when you're harmonizing, there's people singing high notes and low notes and everything in between. So I like that metaphor because you can't perfectly stay in balance. But I have troubles with working on the three areas of life at once. So the three areas I'm speaking of are health, wealth, and relationships. And, when people say, oh, there's more to life than that, I think it all gets put into those categories. Because if you're talking about spirituality, I think that's a relationship with either your spirit or God. So that puts in big picture stuff. If you talk about, well, there's more than just relationships. You have your employees, that's a relationship. Spouse, children, family. If you're like, oh, well, what about the way you interact with the world? Well, that's your community, which is a relationship. And health includes your mind, body, and your spirit. And your wealth includes your cash flow, your investments, the debts that you have. I believe that everything can pretty much be put into those three areas that we have to manage: our health, our wealth, and our relationships. And I may have shared this before, but I need to hear it again, as do you. And that is, these are three buckets, and they're each connected with tubes. And if you fill up just one bucket, they all go up. But if you poke holes in one bucket, they all go down. And so if you are just crushing it at work, in your career, and you're making a ton of money, or you're climbing the ladder, or you're coming up with great material that's getting you good exposure, but you're not spending time with your children, or you're not holding your spouse's hand and looking in their eyes and telling them what you love about them, or you're not in the gym stretching and exercising, or in bed getting a good night's rest, or in the kitchen eating the healthier options, if you're sacrificing everything for your career, it's only a matter of time that the holes that you poke in those other buckets will eventually drain out your wealth bucket. And lately I've been really working hard on my career. I've been posting information about my upcoming speaker training course called 10K Speeches. And, that training is going to be in August. And it's taking a lot of work to put it together. And I feel like I am behind in all the things that I could be doing and have completed on that. And I've been working on preparing myself for an upcoming keynote of a lifetime, being able to address the entire National Speakers Association this month. And I've been working on spreading the video of my TED Talk in the prison. The TED Talk is called The Prison of Your Mind, and it's on my website, it's on YouTube. It's only a 10-minute video, but I've been working to get a lot of visibility to it. Just a lot of things that I've been doing in my career lately. And I've made sacrifices that have caught up to me temporarily. And this isn't a boo-hoo session, Sean sad, although I am a little disappointed. I have put on some weight. Nothing massive that can't be taken off quickly, but I definitely notice it in my face a little bit. And I can tell that I'm not as flexible as I was a couple months ago. And I'm not sleeping as well, because I've been just so focused on my career. And so today I hit the gym, and it was the first time I'd been in the gym since May 30th. So we're talking about over 2.5 weeks of not exercising. And it caught up with me. And I was just telling Mindy, my wife, that I'm in denial about something. And this is relevant to you because you may be in denial about something. What I'm in denial about is that I have a physical disorder that severely limits me physically in many ways. I want to just pretend like I don't have it and that I'm fine and that there's nothing I need to focus on. But the truth is, if I'm not taking extra care of my diet and hitting the gym on a regular basis, my body feels achier than most people at the age of 35. I feel more bloated and I don't get good rest. And I probably feel that more accentuated because of my condition. Because of being in a wheelchair, you don't, walk and move around and stretch the body out as much as you do when you don't have a disability like that. And so when I get out of shape, I feel it quicker. And I get less of a cheat window. And I'm jealous of the people that have a bigger cheat window. And I just came across that tonight. Because the moment I start to feel that I have OI, which is the abbreviated version of my condition, it bums me out. If I'm being honest with you, it bums me out that I have this condition at times. And of course, I teach people to reframe their mind so that they don't let their conditions hold them back. But I also got to tell you that I'm human and that I get frustrated just like you. And I want you to know that these recharge interviews and recharge sessions with just me, they're really about opening you up to how I live and how I see the world and what I do to bounce back from disappointments and setbacks and frustrations. It's not just a place to brag, and I hope I'm never coming off too braggadocious. And if I am, I do apologize. That's not my goal. But sometimes I'm really proud of what I've done. So it's about walking that line of sharing with excitement, but also knowing that there's more to the world than Sean Stevenson. So like I said, this is a program where I'm able to open you up to my world and what I know about reality and how I keep from crumbling and keep from quitting and keep from losing faith in my dreams. So we're on a path together here. And I hopefully will be able to give you a lot of information that will be of value to you. But let's just always go back to the truth. And the truth is that this material that I'm teaching isn't easy to live. But I think it's a lot easier to live than not implementing these tools. You know, on stage, I tell my audience that if I disobey my own teachings, I feel the same consequences as anybody else. I don't get some kind of free pass just because I'm the one that put it into a book or I'm the one that put it on a podcast. I get smacked with the same reality tax that you do. And so today, when I hit the gym, I teared up a little bit. And I'm kind of embarrassed to say that. Because I like to be a manly man and a guy's guy. And, you know, what guy goes to the gym and cries, right? Now, granted, it was my home gym, so not as awkward. But, you know, I teared up. I wasn't like full on, you know, doing the ugly face cry, but I was tearing up. And the reason why I was tearing up is because I was thinking about how many times I grasp for excuses. How many times there are things that I don't want to do, and so the way to get out of it is I just try to find an ironclad excuse that most people would let me have, that my wife would let me have, and my family would let me have, my friends, my mentors. I'll just look for an excuse. But I know the truth. I know that I could work out every day if I wanted to. I know that I could have a lot more money. I know that I could be even in a more open, accepting, compassionate space with my relationships. I know the truth. But again, it's walking that tightrope of being perfect and striving for perfection and being real. Because I'm only ever seriously jealous about one person. And that's my ideal self. That's the version of me that does all the right things. That chooses the broccoli over the brownie brittle, which is seriously one of the most addictive things on the planet. That chooses the gym time over a Netflix marathon. That chooses to have a serious conversation with my wife and, you know, work on the relationship and grow closer versus, you know, just goofing around and not talking about what really matters. So my ideal self, I'm jealous of, because I think that if I just did what my ideal self wanted, I would have the perfect life. And I think it's great to have an ideal self to strive for, but the ideal self isn't human. The ideal self is a computer. It's a machine. It's the thing that does everything that it needs to do when it's told to do it. And even machines break down because they're built by humans. Even machines get bogged down and slow down. Even machines overheat. So on this program, I just wanted to talk about how life is about self-forgiveness. It's about knowing you're going to, at times, not do what the ideal self would have you do. But it's also about sometimes doing what the ideal self would do. And know that your life gets better every time you do the ideal self. Every time you do things that are fulfilling, long-term and lasting, you'll feel good. Physically, mentally, financially. And every time you do things that are gratification-based, that's instant gratification, and it's just about feel good right now, you're going to feel worse over time. And as I age, and I spend more time on this planet, I realize that life is about the delicate choices that we make. And forgiving ourselves when we make the bad choices and starting over. I was just telling Mindy, I hate how it seems like sometimes I have to start over every day on my goals. Start over every day on my projects. Start over every day on my convictions. Every day on my rituals. But so do you. So do all of us. We live in a Facebook generation where it's easy to post the things that look good and just avoid posting the things that aren't looking good. But wouldn't it be fascinating if we actually saw reality on Facebook? I don't think people would like it. I think it would be too much. I think it would be too intense. I think Facebook is not supposed to be reality. I think Facebook is a scrapbook. I think Facebook is your ability to put away memories that you do like. Memories that you are proud of. And so when people get all mad that Facebook isn't reality, I say it's not supposed to be. No social media is. The only reality is reality. And in reality, we all die. And in reality, if we don't die right away, we age. And in reality, we don't always like each other. And in reality, we don't always like ourselves. And in reality, sometimes we get really depressed. And in reality, sometimes we get really hopeful, only to have our hopes crushed. And in reality, sometimes our heart gets broken. And in reality, sometimes we find the love of our life. And in reality, sometimes we're alone. And reality is about the good and the bad. Fantasy is only about the good. Facebook's a fantasy. And if you know that, when you watch social media, and you know that people aren't just had a serious fight with fill in the blank name, just blew off working out, and it's been 3 months since I've worked out, and I'm this much in credit card debt, and if people posted that, it would be reality, and it wouldn't be fun. So, there's a lot of things going on in my mind tonight, but I just want you to know that in life, you're either grasping for excuses or you're in hot pursuit of your results. And no matter what you're doing, you're not wrong and bad. Results are awesome, and it's great to get what you want. It's great to achieve your dreams, and that's mostly what I teach. About how do you overcome the procrastination? How do you overcome the excuses? But I'm going to even it out tonight and say, sometimes we do grasp for the excuse. Sometimes we do eat the brownie brittle too much. Sometimes we have that extra glass of wine. And I would like you to forgive yourself. Because as long as you're beating yourself up for it, you're actually further away from another reality. A reality where that's not your choice. I think the worse you feel about yourself, the more you perpetuate the excuses, the more you grasp harder and faster for the excuses. I think when you confess to yourself, I think when you just own up and say, wow, I've not done this in a while, this thing that I need to be doing. Okay, that's where we're at. And you heard me not too long ago talk about the AGPS, the acceptance is this first step. And you hear about that in 12-step programs. You got to know where you're at. And stop judging yourself and making yourself wrong for that. Can I have a drink of water here for a second? And when you just come clean, and I was tearing up because I was asking for my self-forgiveness in the gym. Like, I'm so sorry, Sean, that I just stopped working out for a couple weeks in a row. And that now you feel bloated and tired, and you get a little pudge around your face, and you're creaky, and you're feeling your disability more. And I forgave myself. And there was closure in that moment. Does that mean I'm perfect and I'm never going to make another excuse? Heck no. I'm sure I'll make excuses again. But I also know that I just need to make sure that I'm on a path of results. You may not know this, but I got a tattoo that says C is greater than E. Just like a mathematical formula. C is greater than E. And I learned it in NLP from Matt James, one of my mentors. And it stands for cause is greater than effect. And I created a whole program around living at cause. And it basically means when you're at cause, you're in hot pursuit and you've achieved your results. And when you're at effect, you have all of the excuses and you are grasping for more. And I think it was Dave Kekage, a mentor I met through Joe Polish. I think it's him who said, life is easy the hard way and hard the easy way. And what that means is, if you always do things to make your life easier, then you end up feeling it being harder over the long haul because you're shortcutting and it catches up with you. And you're being lazy and that catches up with you. But it's hard when you live it the easy way, but it's easy when you live it the hard way, meaning when I'm exercising, when I'm getting my ass into bed at, midnight or earlier to get my 6 to 8 hours of sleep, 6 if I'm working out, 8 if I'm not, because I can tell a difference in quality. When I'm choosing the broccoli, when I'm choosing the vegetable juice, when I'm choosing the pure water, when I'm choosing the meditation, when I'm choosing these things, it's not easy, it's hard. But my life, it gets easier. I have more access to creativity. My mind is sharper. I'm more rested. I'm more positive. I'm more happy. I'm more at peace. My body feels more comfortable. But it was hard to get there. But it's easy being me when I live that way. When I'm choosing the brownie brittle, the video games, the Netflix marathons, the YouTube searches, the Facebook crawlings, when I'm choosing all of the distractions and the avoidance things, the procrastination addiction, my life gets hard. And I don't like being me in those spaces. It's painful physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I want you to hear, as I just continue to share my heart with you, that it's choice. What do you want? Sometimes all I have to do is just ask myself the question. Like when I see somebody hating on me on an email or social media or whatever it may be, if I just said, Sean, do you want to react and lower your vibration to that person? Or do you want to realize the highest vibration, that this person's hurt, and the hurt, and that's why he or she is lashing out this way, and there's no need to bring that kind of energy back to them. And just by asking the question, 9 times out of 10, I make the right choice. But if I don't ask the question, I go right for the ego. I go right back at them. I go wanting to prove them wrong. I am a good guy. And feeding into my people-pleasing addiction that I'm in recovery on. I want you to know that you and I are more alike than you think. I might be out there posting videos and giving speeches about how to live life, but it's because I need to hear it too. It's because I'm right there along with you. I know at times it's so seductive to quit on yourself. It's so seductive to be on an airplane and just not happy with your life and having that secret fantasy like, you know what, if this airplane did crash, then I wouldn't have to face up to my fears and I wouldn't have to deal with rejection anymore. And you know what, so be it. It's that dark side of us that thinks, screw it. Who cares? I got that too, just like you. Where I think I'm able to help you, though, is that I'm going to be honest about what it takes to overcome that. About how we need to live our life so that that doesn't consume us. Because when we give in to living life the easy way, and then it feels a lot harder, it leads to huge weight gain and health challenges and massive debt that's really hard to climb out of and incredibly painful broken relationships and all kinds of other dramas. So what's your thermostat set up at? Because everybody has a thermostat level. You know, I live in Arizona, and when it gets to a certain temperature, the air conditioning kicks on. And that degree that Mindy or I set on the thermostat makes all the difference in the world. If we set it really high, we're both sweating. If we set it really low, we're shivering from the air conditioning being too cold. You gotta figure out, what's your thermostat? How far do you have to go until you've gone too far with your health, your wealth, and your relationships? Me, a couple of weeks of not working out, boom, thermostat kicks on, and it's time to go. Some people, they only need like a day, and some people need years. And the longer you go before that thermostat of change kicks on, where you actually say, enough's enough, I'm done, I'm going to hit the gym, I'm going to work on my business, I'm going to have that tough conversation with my children, I'm going to sit down and tell my spouse how much I love them, I'm going to do fill-in-the-blank activity that's going to make my life better. Everything's different when we have that thermostat kick on. But where are you setting that thermostat at? I don't want you to set it too far away, because sometimes it's nearly impossible to come back. Can you come back? Sure. If you're listening right now and you're saying, oh, Sean, I set my thermostat too far out, it's going to take forever, who cares, I need to just end it all. I'm going to say, time out. That's an excuse. You can do this. We can do this together. We're in this together. I love my good buddy Drew Canoli, who says, we're in this together. And if you didn't get a chance, definitely check out his interview. It's so worth it. I interviewed him on Recharge. And he's right. We're in this together. I am right here with you needing to recharge today. I am right here with you wanting to be a better person. And knowing that I'm perfect just the way I am, but that I have more in me to give and more in me to do. And as long as I'm breathing, as long as my eyes open in the morning, I know that I have more to do here. I hope that something I said tonight was of value. I hope this wasn't some crazy rant that everybody thinks, what the hell? I hope it I hope it helped you. I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that I don't even need to know you to know that you're an important part of humanity. I thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to next week.